I am leaning back. Hey, what's up, you guys? It is JC Bender. I'm Cheyenne. And I'm Sierra, and welcome back to this week's video. Apparently, I look big. For some reason, I look like I'm like a giant in comparison to her somehow. I don't know if it's because of the pillow I have behind me, but we're gonna work with it. Okay, yes, I have to address it. I'm on the other side again. You're just gonna have to get used to it. You're gonna have to get used to it. Today, we are going to be discussing a film that we have been meaning to talk about and make a video for literally years. This movie just has still been on our minds. And the movie in question is The Lost Girls. The Lost Girls is by far one of the most confusing, convoluted, disturbing movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And we've never really talked about like any kind of disturbing adult movies on here because all we talk about is Disney Channel. But like I guess we're going into new territory. We're just talking about just bad movies now. But genuinely, this is such a treat to get to share this with you all, especially if you haven't seen it before. I'm glad that we are going to be the ones introducing this trash to you. Because it is truly an unknown hidden gem, if you will. It's not a hidden gem. Don't even say that. It like covers literally dark topics so horribly. It's like not good. It's just laughable because it's about Peter Pan. That's really the end. Well, either way, I was saying like it's unknown, at least to my knowledge, because the only people that I ever hear talking about this movie are people that are Louis Partridge fans because he is Peter Pan in this movie. So get your pixie dust. No. And get ready to fly. Fly out of a bedroom window that is because Peter Pan ruins your family. And you're the next girl to be taken to Neverland. It's your turn, Wendy, darling. And let's dive into the chaos that is The Lost Girls. So I guess there's a couple things to preface. First of all, trigger warnings. Now this movie is done so badly, but despite that, it has a lot of dark topics, including SA, PEDOS, mental health, all of the things. And yet it covers it so badly. So this movie is based on the book The Lost Girls by Laurie Fox. Now, have we read the book? No. But looking into it, I was kind of looking at some articles online, like what do people think about the book? Is this even similar to this movie? And it is in the worst way possible. We came across this review by Colleen Mondor that gave us a huge hint that the book is just as flawed as we assumed it would be based on watching this movie and how insane it is. But I guess it's time to actually get into the plot of this movie and actually get into like what goes on. So already the movie opens with like a quote. I don't know what was by, but we'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. The quote is, though, "The universe is made of stories, not atoms." But I'm not sure if this is a story that should even be told. Again, like, they are trying to be so deep, but they handle every topic horribly, and in such a convoluted way that I'm like, are you trying to say that these are good things? Like, I'm so confused. The first scene of the movie is the original Wendy, which for the rest of the video, like after this point, like pretty much we are going to be referring to her as Nana or Great Nana. But either way, the original Wendy telling her daughter Jane the whole story of when she met Peter Pan when she was a girl. And it's kind of like the typical story. It's like he's crying, he lost his shadow. She gets woken up by him like crying and being upset about it. And she's like, "Boy, why are you crying?" We'll hear that a million times in this movie. And you'll say, "Boy, why are you crying?" And she sewed it back on for him. I don't even know what that means. Am I dumb? I don't know. Neither of us know what that means. It's like stupid. Like, I'm mad like about it. It's like so dumb. But either way, like, she sewed on the shadow, whatever that means, and he took her to Neverland. I'm like scared because they're showing these like creepy ass shots of Wendy as an elder, you know, as Nana, trying to fly. Like in between scenes, like
Oh!
my god!
Oh, okay, Nana.
But, like, she's just mentally unwell.
Yeah.
Ever
It's
since
like-
she went to Neverland, she has been mentally unwell.
Then we fast forward, we cut to London 1988, where we are on the third generation of the Darling family.
So basically, just to further explain, the original Wendy, aka Nana, had a child named Jane, and Jane had a child named Wendy. So this is Wendy the second, which she is the main character of the film, so we are going to call that Wendy, and the first Wendy, Nana.
Nana explains to Wendy that when she is like 12 or 13, she will meet a boy, Peter, and will fall for him uncontrollably.
This is how they actually talk in the movie. You will fall for him uncontrollably, and he will tell you how valuable you are, and it will be the most seductive.
It's disgusting.
He is a 13-year-old boy, and you are like in your 90s, being like, it was seductive.
Like, ew. She's saying that, like, she'll wake up one night, Peter will be there crying for one reason or another, and make her fly with him to Neverland and force her to be a mother-like figure for him and the Lost Boys and have to do washing, cooking, cleaning, etc. Nana also says that Wendy must encourage her future daughter to follow this boy as well, just like she did with her daughter Jane. And this kind of brings up, a question like, where is Jane, right? She's gone. She's disappeared from this family, and Wendy is like, where's my mom, Nana?
Like, did she
Is
disappear?
she in Neverland?
Yeah, did she disappear with this boy?
No answer. We don't know. We'll find out soon.
It's like so bad, it's laughable. You can't help but laugh at how freaking crazy Nana is. Like, she is so creepy. And the worst part is, I don't think the movie wants you to think that she's creepy. But she literally is. She is so creepy. She's obsessing over this child that she was in love with when she was a kid.
As if she's like still in
As
love
if she's
with
still
him,
in love with
and
him
she
currently.
is.
And yeah, she basically is. But then they make the excuse, well, he loved every girl in this family as if they were one girl. As if that's okay. But we'll get into that later. She's forcing her obsession with Peter onto the rest, like all the future generations of girls in the family.
And I swear, like, Wendy's father should not have left
Her with
alone
Nana.
with Nana.
Because the dad is at least one of the more rational characters in the story, Wendy's dad, but he's also kind of a jerk later.
Yeah, because, like, also following this scene, there's, like, a couple montage-esque type of things of, like, Wendy and her dad doing stuff together and just kind of, like, their daily life. Wendy is homeschooled by her father. Her father is her teacher, and he makes her live this sheltered life. I don't know if it's because he knows about the Peter Pan stuff.
Yeah, so he always is teaching her
like,
stuff about adventures and whatever, being like, almost like preparing her because she's gonna end up having to go on one.
Or maybe he's like scared and shelters her because of the mom going away because of all this. Like, I don't really know how much he knows about any of it, but no wonder he was sheltering her if he knew what was going on. Like
what was to come. So, fast forwarding a little bit, Wendy is a teenager now, and Peter comes to visit her in her bedroom. Again, I don't know why we're romanticizing this boy. Like, Nana must be insane. Like, she must be really conservative or something, and like anti-feminist. She must like really stick to old rules or something, because Peter sucks. He is a major misogynist and believes that all of the girls should just come to cook and clean for him and the Lost Boys. Like, that's all they are to do. Literally, he just wants them to be his mother while simultaneously being in a romantic relationship with them. I don't understand. See, there are so many things that are messed up about this movie. Like, what do you mean you're the mother, but then you have like a romantic I don't even know. It's the fact that he's so misogynistic that he said, why don't you just shoot me? When he came for Wendy and she told him that she's not very good at cooking or cleaning because she's a modern girl with interests outside of and what is like typically associated with women. Like, and he's just like,
why don't you just shoot me?
just because she said she liked riding. And it's just so icky how he was insulting her that whole time and then starts flirting with her immediately after.
Basically, like, saying that she is attractive, and then
he's like, you suck and you have no use to me, but you're attractive at least.
Yeah,
like,
and then he makes this comment calling her a real peach, and he has like a peach in his hand, and I hate this because they're like sexualizing this like comment, and the only other time that Wendy was called a peach previous to this was by her father.
When they were just like playing in the grass.
Like, he called her a real peach, and now Peter is saying it, and like it's
being tainted.
It's like just so disgusting. But anyway, he says in order for them to start flying away, she needs to think of happy thoughts
instead of using the pixie dust. Like, they say that the pixie dust exists in this movie, but they really find no use for it. They don't even use it to fly. So I don't even know why they even bother mentioning it.
But regardless, this might not seem like that big of a detail, but it will come into play later in the movie, so I just want to mention that detail. So then they start flying away. The thing is that the effects in this movie are so bad. I mean, I know this like movie probably didn't have that big of a budget, but like I can't ignore the fact that it looks horrible. Because, you know, when they were in the room at first and they were flying, I kind of like some of the practical effects, like the lighting,
yeah, they do some fun
lighting.
like rainbow lighting and everything.
And him flying doesn't look that bad inside the room. But then, as soon as they go outside and the green screen starts, this movie has a really big problem with green screen.
It ruins so many different scenes because they don't know how to use it properly.
We'll get into the other bad green screen scenes when they come up. But
yeah, and the funny thing is that we have it written in our notes, it's like, and we'll get to the bathtub hallucination scene later. It's like, what is going on in this movie? So they get to Neverland, and Peter makes Wendy promise that she will never grow up. She agrees for some reason. It's like, why? It can't happen. Like, we know what happened to Nana. Like, I don't understand. So basically, again, because of what Nana gave her these expectations of, Wendy tells Peter to kiss her, and he won't. Instead, he gives her this weird acorn button thing that he calls kisses. And it's so confusing because we'll get to this, but later on in the movie, he's giving her kisses, but it's not even the button. I don't even know.
It's literally confetti. But Peter keeps going on and on and on and on about all these adventures, but they never really go on any. We don't see that. All he does with all of the girls in this family is flirt with them a bit, bring them to Neverland, and then let them get taken by Hook. So this is where Captain Hook comes in. What happens is when Wendy is in Neverland, she's like by herself for some reason. She's not even with Peter. She's not going on an adventure for sure. She's just like messing around by this like body of water, and she starts like laying in the water and like floating on her back, and then she gets pulled downwards by a hook. And we know that Captain Hook abducted her by this point.
So what kind of adventure is that? You go there, you're promised that this guy is supposed to like flirt with you or something, and that you're supposed to cook and clean for him and the Lost Boys. They didn't even do that. Like, he literally just left her alone in a field, and then she goes into a body of water and then gets kidnapped. What kind of adventure is that?
And Peter never fights Captain Hook either.
So he lets the girls get taken.
He doesn't do anything. Now, the actress for teen Wendy, she's a good actress, honestly, but in the scene where she gets taken by Hook, she has, like, no emotion whatsoever.
Here's the thing, like, Hook is very creepy, but she's, like, smiling. I'm so confused. Or she looks very neutral, even though she's supposed to be, like, really scared and disgusted by him.
But when she got kidnapped by Hook, he forced her to have dinner with him, and then, like, he put this weird lullaby music on. It makes the scenes so hard to take seriously, and they play this music every scene that he appears in. But anyway, like, he puts on like this like twinkling lullaby music, and he forces her to slow dance with him.
And it's like this music is so unserious because it literally sounds like it's playing on an iPhone from another room.
But then he tries to kiss her against her will, and she runs away into some cave. And then when she goes in the cave, she sees a vision of her mother, and she's never met her mother. She doesn't know her mother, obviously. And then that's really it.
That's her whole adventure to Neverland.
Then she like wakes up. in her bed. Like, the next bit of the movie is just Wendy getting older and her being frustrated by it.
And also being mad because Peter said that he would come for her the next spring, but literally years go by. She's 17 by this point.
But she kind of acts like Peter never coming back for her is catastrophic for some reason, and she gets so furious and like distraught over it, even though like you spent one day with him, right?
I
like,
know. It's like you're 17. He's still 13.
Damn, Peter.
Girl. Now that she's like this age, like she goes to go visit her Nana, and she like goes to vent to her Nana about all of this.
And Nana is like, I have a warning for you, but don't get mad and disappear like Jane did.
So she's alluding to the fact that Jane's disappearance is, in fact, due to all of the Peter Pan stuff, which is insane.
But also she never explains like, if she is in Neverland somewhere, or if she just isn't, or if she's just, she went insane because of the Neverland stuff. She doesn't give her any information on that. But what she does tell her is that when Wendy gets older, she will meet a boy, and that he will love her dearly, but it will never be enough. Because the love of a boy is not all a girl needs. But then why are you so obsessed over Peter and all the girls in this family meeting Peter if love is not all a girl needs? So it feels like she's implying somehow that no relationship could ever be enough for her because of her relationship with Peter, and her relationship with Peter is somehow deeper than just love. I don't even know. And that she will never be able to move on with her life.
And again, this is based off of assuming like one night, like out Neverland? Unless like in Neverland, like it seems like multiple days pass, but then
like is there stuff we didn't see?
There's no explanation. But like then like when you wake up and you come out of Neverland, it just seems like a night passed.
Because they're saying like all this stuff about like again Neverland is like this lively place. It's like it seems barren as hell.
It's
like
literally just a lavender field with a pond.
I know. We didn't see any of this stuff that Nana was describing in the first scene.
Where was the mermaids and the lagoon or like
anything?
What? And then she says about like Native Americans being there too, like how it usually is, and like
why are they there?
Seen, but also why
are Native Americans in a fictional place? Like, as if Native people aren't real. Like, what are you saying?
Oh, yeah. Okay, but we cut to Wendy as an adult meeting a man named Adam.
I'm Adam.
In the park, which is the boy that Nana prophesized.
The thing that comes up next, it's like literally one of our vocal stems at this point.
I always say, it's the bugs because of this movie. Adam
is carrying this like big microphone.
He's
like obsessed
recording sounds and stuff because he's like a sound engineer, like a music producer, and he uses like all different like sorts of sounds in the environment. He's always recording on his microphone.
She's sitting on the ground in the grass, and I think he asks why she likes the grass or the ground or something, like what's so good about the ground, and she says it's the bugs.
It's the bugs. Stop.
And then he's like, oh, can I record that? I love the way you say that. Like, and so she's just like, it's the bugs. It's the bugs. It's the bugs. The way that after that, it cuts to a scene of a ton of it's the bugs, it's the bugs, it's the bugs on reverb.
It's the bugs.
But we'll get to that.
I guess he made some sort of remix.
He made some sort of audio. It's the bugs. It's the bugs. It's the bugs. It's the bugs.
But there's something I need to address here now that we are at the point where Wendy is an adult. The actress for Wendy,
as an adult,
I don't want to. I hate saying this, but the acting is really bad. It's kind of funny considering that she directed the film. She starred in it and directed it. Literally all of her lines, like a lot of the time, it feels like you're watching the movie The Room, if you've seen that.
Or it's very much giving, Kal-El, no, the stone.
Her acting is a lot better in the emotional scenes, but she can't be casual.
This is one big ghost story compared to the rock-solid story I live in.
And she's like, well, I still live with my dad, and I also just wrote myself a graduation card. Like, that's how she talks.
My favorite line is like, it's supposed to calm the nervous system, but it's not really working, though. It's like, huh?
Adam and Wendy fall in love. We get a montage and everything, and they're like dancing and everything. Like we said, we get the weird It's the Bugs audio with reverb because he's like, you know, working on some sort of song or mix or something. I don't know.
It's a mashup. It's Mashup Monday. Today, as we're filming, I'm Will Schuster. This is Glee. This week's theme is Gaga.
So later on, when Wendy and Adam are being intimate, he calls her Wendy Bird, which makes Wendy extremely uncomfortable and kind of freaked out, being like, what made you say that? Because Wendy Bird, like, that was only a name that Peter ever called her.
All the people in this family have post-traumatic stress.
From Peter Pan and Hook. I'm also like, why would Nana want her to go to Neverland? Like, any of the women in this family go to Neverland in the first place. Like, was she never affected by Hook? I don't understand, because I thought the whole point is that Hook just keeps moving on also to every woman in this family.
Just like Peter.
So I don't get it. Like, how are Hook and Peter any different, for one? And second, why would you want this to happen to your child? I don't get it at all.
Something we need to bring up about Wendy is that she is an author. She's a writer.
Why wouldn't she be? She has all the stories of Neverland.
And that's what she does write her books about.
But also about animals for some
I
reason.
don't know. But it's so dumb how she literally just sits there watching animal videos all day and just is like, I couldn't come up with anything for my book.
That's all she does all day long.
At this point, like, we're far into Adam and her, like, relationship, and they are always going at it. She is always angry at him because he's so happy all the time and, like, focused on his work. He's focused on it too much, though. So, like, of course she's mad that he's, like, all happy and stuff about it, because he literally puts no attention to anything else. He's always recording audio. Like, literally, they can't even have a conversation because he always has headphones on and is holding a microphone. It's insane.
And this conflict will continue to come up in the future. Basically, Wendy and Adam are outside, like, on a bench somewhere, and Wendy keeps trying to tell Adam that she's pregnant, and is continuously just throwing up.
It's so gross.
Like,
She
throughout
keeps,
the
like,
scene.
puking over and over.
But he's not paying attention to her and keeps recording audio for his music. And when she finally gets her chance to speak, she does it in the absolute weirdest way possible. She doesn't even outright say that she's pregnant. She never actually says that she's pregnant in the scene. And without any context, tells him about everything from Neverland for the first time. And she does this presumably because, you know, this will probably affect their child, because Peter's gonna come for her too. And he just doesn't understand. Again, she's never told him about this before, and so he's just like, I don't understand. I don't know who these people are. Maybe you need to go to a doctor. Like, he just thinks she's mentally ill.
He's like, is this characters in a story you're writing? Like, what
Or are they
you-"
real people? And she doesn't explain.
No.
And while she's talking to Adam, Hook appears. But only she can see him. So great.
And here we go again. Hook kisses her without her consent, and when she says that she recognizes him, he says the most disgusting thing possible. He says, all girls know me.
It's like, this dude is old.
Then he calls her a real peach. We're coming back to the peach thing again.
And starts, like, grossly, kind of, I would say, aggressively, sexually eating a peach. It's really disgusting. It really is.
I hate that the only thing I could think of when watching this was Belly from The Summer I Turned, because he was really aggressively eating that peach.
Oh my god.
So Adam and Wendy end up getting married because of her pregnancy, and while getting ready for the wedding, she sees her mom, Jane, in the mirror of her, like, dressing room, and then her dad is a jerk to her, being like, you know, I wish you wouldn't have settled down. You should have explored the world and not got tied down to a man. And she's like, I didn't mean to get pregnant. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, so, like, thanks for ruining my wedding day.
And then immediately after, she's like, I love you, Dad. Like, oh, what is this dialogue? And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
After she sees her mom in the mirror, then another weird hallucination happens. When she's at the altar, she starts thinking about her and Peter when she was 13. I don't know if it's like she's having these memories, but it almost looks like she's actually having a hallucination because she looks so out of it. Her thinking about Peter made her almost not not say I do. Are you kidding me? It takes her a second to come back to reality, and she's like, and everyone's like, is she gonna say yes? And she does. She says yes.
So they end up going through with the wedding, obviously. I was so confused because then they start kissing like immediately. Literally like 10 seconds later when they're zooming away and they've been kissing for a while. Like they've been kissing for at least
15
seconds by this point. The officiant then says, "You may now kiss the bride." And it was like, did you mean to put this audio in earlier? Was that an editing mistake? I don't know. It was very weird.
She has her first hallucination of Peter after the wedding. Again, a real hallucination. This is new. This isn't being stuck in old memories. He's back for real this time with her as an adult. And I'm sorry, but this is an absolutely hilarious scene. This is the scene, like, again, this shows what garbage this is. If I want to give somebody a good laugh, this is the scene I'm sending to them. Like, this scene.
Is the bathtub hallucination scene. So I guess in reality she's in the bathtub, but in the hallucination she is with Peter in the lavender field in Neverland. She starts talking about what her life would have been like as a mother to him and the Lost Boys if she would have stayed, and she kind of reflects on how she's going to be a mother
herself in real life
and is pregnant, but he cannot comprehend that she's pregnant. He's like not understanding. He just keeps calling her fat.
Is it because you're a little fat?
And he's such an ass. Why are we supposed to like him? I don't get it.
Also her line delivery here. Well, I could have stayed with you and the Lost Boys.
And I could have been a mother.
The line delivery was like amazing.
But again, just recircling back again, them using the word mother to describe it's like this whole mother thing to the Lost Boys and Peter is so weird when they are literally flirting with each other. Alright.
You know, because of the topic of motherhood, Wendy asks again, like, where's my mom? Jane, where is she? Is she like on the island somewhere still? Where is my mom? They kind of like show like a little bit of a flashback scene of Jane and Peter when she was in Neverland. They allude to them having a somewhat sexual relationship going beyond just like
kissing or like a peck.
Like a peck or like just flirting.
Ooh, it's bad. It's the
like,
way that
it's not even just like a romantic relationship. Like they allude to
like a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that Peter was like, well, Jane, she isn't really like you, Wendy. She always fancied me and she was into me and I always tried to meet her needs. But it was never enough.
Isn't he supposed to be 13?
Yeah, and he's like, I always tried to meet her needs, but it was never enough. Me and her were alike. Me and you aren't.
Then Wendy confesses that she is married, and he gets pissed. Even though like it was never shown that she promised to never
get
be
married
or be with someone else other than him. He says that she broke her promise to him. He was like, "You were supposed to wait for me.
What do you mean
to be
wait?
with me?
What do you mean wait? You're 13. You're never gonna get older."
And then he's like, "No, like don't be with Adam. Be with me." And he tries to woo her with all of the kisses he collected, and he flies in the air and he like pours all these. Again, it's not even the acorn button things anymore. It's confetti. It's like,
but they're supposed to be they're all the kisses
he's collected, all the kisses he has for her. Oh, gosh, help! But can't do this.
Like we said, her line delivery is so flat. We'll probably insert some parts of it.
But now we have to talk about the green screen.
No, the thing is, I'm gonna say what it looks like first and what I believe the reality is. So, why did the first half of the scene look fine and then all of a sudden look like a horrible, horrible green screen? Like, literally, only the upper half of her body is now in the lavender field.
It's
like the bottom half of her body is literally missing, but yet her head is at the top of the height of the lavender. Even though before, when they were sitting in it, it didn't look like that at all.
And it's only for the second half of the scene. The
like,
whole first half, it's clear that they are actually in a real lavender field filming.
Yeah, so it's almost like they had limited time to film in the actual location and couldn't get the footage that they needed. So they, green screen the rest of the scene. But I know what the truth is, okay? Like, that's what it looks like. That's maybe what you would assume. But in reality, we're pretty sure it's just because they had to have Peter fly.
And obviously, because of their budget, they could not string him up or something in the actual location to make it look like he was flying.
So they just green screen the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like literally copy and paste the people into the scene.
It was, the worst green screen I think I've ever seen in any movie I've ever seen. It actually is unbelievable.
So basically, we come back to Wendy, like, in real life in the bathtub. Like, she's literally crying. And Adam...
looking like crying tears of joy.
Adam comes and sees her in the bathroom. Like, he comes into the bathroom and sees her.
Because she's like, Peter. It's like, oh,
And he literally gets pissed after finding out that she's been having hallucinations of Peter and gets jealous because he's like, I'm the one you chose to be with. I'm real, not Peter. So he literally feels like he's competing with a child even though he's her husband.
Now we have another time jump. Now Wendy has had her baby and the baby is now a child. She's like probably like 6 years old maybe, and her name is Barry. They're having a family dinner with Wendy's dad. Jane gets brought up again because the dad is like, Barry really reminds me of Jane, like more than you ever did, Wendy. Like your daughter really reminds me of Jane. And like one of my favorite lines of the whole movie, because Barry's like, who's Jane? And then oh my god, Wendy says, we actually don't know who she is, so I don't understand why you had to bring this up.
The way she says it, it's so funny. The line delivery is way too good. So, just a little bit of information here. Barry hates Wendy's books and her stories that she writes because it takes attention away from her and reality. Because she keeps saying, like, throughout the whole rest of the movie, like, no one is ever mentally present in this family.
No one is ever really present in this family.
And that, you know, imagination, whatever, takes us away from what is really in front of us. 8-year-old Barry, I don't know, 6 years old, somewhere in there, burns a copy of Wendy's book.
Where did she even get something to light it on fire?
And Wendy gets so mad, but she mostly directs her anger towards Adam.
I'm Adam.
Because he kind of didn't act like it was a big deal that Barry literally burned her book. She's also mad at him because she thinks that one of the reasons that her and Barry have this, like, strained relationship and why she hates her book so much is because Barry is resenting her for her, like, trying to do work and take care of her child at the same time. She's always like, Mommy never wants me around. It's because she's trying to work and Adam won't watch his own child because he gets to go out and do whatever he wants. So she's stuck taking care of the kid while trying to do her own work at home. And so she's really mad at Adam too. So Wendy just leaves and is done with her husband and her family and this whole family dinner and goes to the bar. And apparently Hook is at the bar. And she takes a drink from him, I assume.
She comes back home and she goes in Barry's bed after being at this nasty ass bar. Like, you are dirty. Get out of your child's bed. And then Barry even is like, Mom, you stink.
It's so gross.
And then her mom is like, and you smell like a peach.
Stop. Don't bring that back.
We wanted Wendy to get away from everything with Peter and Hook and be able to have a good life with Adam.
Again, the movie would never allow that anyway, because again, it's always about Peter. But it's not like her marriage is really good anyway.
No, because he values his career over the family so much.
So now Wendy has to go to her book release and introduce her book to people at the library, I guess, or this bookstore. Our favorite character of the movie, he has like two lines, and he's our favorite character of the movie, the bookstore owner. He spoke like 3 words, and we just knew he was the best. Love the energy. He's like so calm, and it's like, let's welcome our author.
This evening's...
Love it.
Jane is at the book release. The thing is that it kind of looks like Wendy looks at her, but like she kind of assumes that she's not real.
Yeah, and Barry does actually interact with Jane, but she doesn't know who she is. We fast forward many years later to when Barry is a teenager. Oh no, she's 13. She's gonna get taken by Peter. It's that time. So now that Barry is a teenager, she has some of her friends over for dinner. Again, another family dinner.
They can't stop having these happen.
And And one of Barry's friends actually says that he likes Wendy's books, and Wendy tries to give him a copy of it, but Barry cuts her off and absolutely rips into her. Barry starts getting mad about all that anyone cares about in this family is Neverland, and all the stories are BS. So she says, what, I have to believe in a crock of shit so you'll love me? And then the best line of the entire movie, the best line, then Wendy's like, yes, you have to believe in a crock of shit.
And then she's like, I'm done with this family. And oh, this is my favorite line of the whole movie. Barry says, sayonara, mama.
Sayonara, mama.
It's the most unserious scene of the entire movie. Because the thing is, I almost called her Belly!
Belly Conklin?
Oh my god.
Barry is actually, like, really mean to her mom. To a degree that it's like, okay, why are you being so mean to her? But the only thing that she is right about is how ridiculous this whole Neverland thing is. So I'm kind of glad that she is like, this is stupid. I like that she doesn't like Neverland. She doesn't romanticize it in any sort of way. Again, this scene is so unserious. To end off this amazing family dinner, the friend who wanted to see Wendy's book, before he leaves, he's like, thank you for the lovely dinner.
Just after watching Barry and Wendy go at it.
But the line delivery is so perfect. Again, we just cut off of sayonara, mama, to thank you for the lovely dinner.
I can't. Like Cheyenne said, like, Barry is just getting mad at her mom for literally just existing and showing any emotion. She tells her to start acting like an adult just because she got excited because they were going to visit Nana.
They were on a plane, and just because she got excited, being like, oh my god, I can't believe we're going, and she's like, can you just act like an adult?
And then when they get to see Nana at the mental institution that she lives at, they notice that the windows now have locks on them. Because apparently she kept trying to jump out and fly. Because she believes that she can fly because of Peter. And now it's time for Nana to tell Barry what her fate will be. And Wendy does not want to leave Barry alone with Nana because she doesn't want her to know about. It's just kind of confusing. It's like she writes all these stories about Neverland, but like
and how it's a good place, but at the same time
she doesn't want Barry to know about Neverland. She doesn't want her to meet Peter.
It's almost like, again, she's like so stuck in it because, again, she can't get over it. But I think she's starting to realize this was actually a traumatizing experience for me, and I don't want this to happen to my child. I don't want her to meet Peter, and especially, I don't want her to get involved with Hook.
But Nana says that it doesn't matter what she wants, because Peter is going to come for Barry anyway. It's gonna happen no matter what. It just can't be stopped, apparently. So, like Nana said, Peter comes and visits Barry, and they fight for a bit. It's like so bad they like end up on the floor. Like,
yeah, it's so strange because I don't know, I guess he just didn't feel like putting up the fake show he put on for every other girl in the family, being like, oh my god, I'm upset, I can't remember this fairy tale, or my mother is gone, or I lost my shadow. She's like, aren't you supposed to be crying? And he's like, I didn't feel like it. And then he starts taking her things, reading her books, and then calling what she likes stupid. Because she was reading like a comic book or something. He was like, why do you read this garbage? And she was saying about why she liked the superhero. And he was like, there are no heroes, there's just me. I'm the hero of every story. All there is Ben. It's me. She shares with him that she has mental health issues and that she wants to unalive herself. Yeah, she just is like, you know what? If you want to take me away, like if we're gonna fly, like let's just go. I don't want to be here anyway. He kind of acts like she's gonna die anyway. Like he literally says, well, even if you were to die, it would be a great adventure. And then like Barry starts kind of fighting with him again because she's like, you have everything to do with everything that's wrong with this family, and you screwed up my mom so bad, and you know, you just messed up everything in this family. Wendy wakes up to her daughter being found on the ground, 2 stories down from her bedroom window, covered in blood. Barry isn't dead, but she's severely injured from the fall from her bedroom windows. I don't know if Peter was just like, well, she wants to die, so we let her drop, or if he's like mad at her for saying that everything in the family is his fault, but regardless, he let her fall and didn't didn't take her to Neverland.
Yeah, and she ends up in the hospital. Wendy and Adam, like, they go visit their daughter in the hospital, obviously. But when she returns home afterwards, Hook is in the house.
So fabulous to see you again.
And he says he's going to abduct her again.
Oh yes, the part where I abduct you.
Like, it's so bad that even though horrible stuff is happening in these scenes, you can't even take it seriously anymore. Because it's literally the way she's like, why are you here? And he says, to abduct you.
And she calls Adam on the phone being like, oh my gosh, help, Hook is here. And he doesn't believe her. And he's like, I'm not gonna come and help you because you can't understand what is reality and what isn't.
I know, and it also doesn't help that he doesn't know or believe that what happened to Barry had anything to do with Peter either. He just doesn't care at all. And the Hook scenes, again, are so dark and gross, but it's so hard to take them seriously because, oh my gosh, the Hook hand, it's like you can tell it's like slapped on his hand. It's literally like coming off sometimes in the scenes. And just the guy who plays him, like, he does it it's so unserious. It's like unbelievable. Hook is just absolutely disgusting. He starts talking about, well, maybe I'll move on to Barry. Are you kidding me?
Since you don't want me or whatever.
And he brings up Jane, and Wendy asks if he knows anything about what happened to her, because she still doesn't understand. And we cut back to the previously shown flashback of Jane and Peter, but with more context. So this time they don't just allude to them having a sexual relationship. They show on a full-on makeout scene, and it's pretty gross. And then after that, we cut back to reality, and Hook gags Wendy, and she wakes up on his ship. But, oh my gosh, and this is also, like, one of the best parts of the movie, because it's like, what is happening at this point? And it makes absolutely no sense.
But because it's not actually his ship.
And also, the ship is a radio station.
This is a radio station?
The ship is a radio station. There's no context to this. All of a sudden, she wakes up on, like, an antenna, and she's like, this is a radio station? And it's like, why?
And
What?
it's this kid in a pirate outfit.
And he's like,
this is K-rap.
pirate radio.
Pirate radio.
What does this have to do with anything?
And I can't tell if... Okay, he's saying it's pirate radio, and he's dressed like a pirate, and they're, like, on a ship-shaped radio station. And I'm just like, okay, but pirate radio means that it's, like, an unlicensed broadcast. Okay, like, in reality. So is it just a pirate-themed radio station, or is it actually, like, a pirate radio? Like, it's not, like, licensed, or is it both? I don't know what's happening.
And why would we need to know that? Why is this radio station? And how is rap pirate music?
He said K-rap. And I was
What?
like, what? Do you mean, like, Korean rap?
I'm so confused. Why is this even happening? I don't know. The weird part is like, Hook is just like whipping up macaroons and serving them on a plate.
I'm not such a baddie.
I'm a fun guy.
Like, here's a macaroon, Wendy. Like, he's literally
And she eats it. She takes a bite. It's like, why are you eating this food?
Why are you accepting anything from this man? Okay, and I guess Hook is a chef. Like, I don't know, he came out with a little mitt on and everything. I'm so lost at this point in the movie. And then after she eats the macaroon, he literally essays her again and says that the point of all of this, the big picture of everything here, why he's doing this to her, why Peter and just everything, why this is all happening, is because mother like daughter and daughter like daughter. What does that even mean? And they kept cutting back to the scene of Jane making out with Peter. So it's almost like just because Jane made out with Peter, now Hook is making out with Wendy? I don't understand.
At this point, it's just a ton of flashbacks and montages. It's hard to say what is happening. I'm just as confused as Wendy is at this point as to what reality is supposed to be. Like, Wendy woke up, like, she's no longer on the ship anymore. Again, there's a bunch of flashbacks and montages happening. And then Wendy sees Peter again. And she's like, why do you keep coming back to us? Why are you coming back to me now? I'm grown up.
And he's like, for the stories, simple as that. And it's like, what stories? You guys didn't do anything. And also the stories, like the memories or the stuff she's making up. She never specifies. So what? How? Why? When? Where?
And then he starts flirting with her again, even though she's old. And he's like, I fancy you. Neverland is always a slam dunk with you. This is a real line from the movie. I'm not even kidding.
And he tries to convince her to still come to Neverland with him.
To be with him.
And somehow never grow up, even though it's not possible. It's not possible. But he's still like, just come with me. And she kind of saying that she can't go, but she still loves Neverland or something. I don't even know how she has anything positive to say about Neverland, because like we said, she literally showed up in a lavender field, got left by Peter, laid in a body of water, and got kidnapped. That was her whole time in Neverland. But she says, it's a place where you're never lonely and definitely not crazy. And it's like, a place where you're never lonely? Girl, Peter left you and let you get kidnapped.
Yeah, like,
what do you mean, a place where you're never lonely? Like, you were alone.
well, then her hallucination is over. She rejects Peter's advances, and then she goes to go visit her daughter in the hospital because she's awake now. Mary, after waking up, she starts reciting this poem that she wrote about her near-death experience because of Peter Pan. And she explains in the poem that she was able to fly briefly when she started thinking about happy thoughts. But then, because of her depression and her mental health problems, when she started thinking about these happy thoughts, it ended up making her sad. It caused her to fall to the ground, and Peter just let it happen because he thinks that dying is some great adventure. Wendy is like just so distraught hearing about this and how that happened to her daughter, and she apologizes for ever letting any of this happen to her, so they kind of reconcile. And immediately after, Nana dies. We're at the funeral. We don't say what the cause of death is, but I can only assume that it's because she tried to fly again. Like, I don't know what else to say. I kept showing that clip at the beginning of the movie of her, like, you know, I assume that was her death scene.
Oh my god! What the hell is going on? Also, this is never explained, but they focus on these boys who came in hoodies and gold chains to the funeral, and we don't know why they're there. Like, again, why are you wearing a hoodie and a gold chain to a funeral? But we can only assume, like, we're headcanoning them as the Lost Boys. Because no context. Who are they? Why are they at this funeral? Oh wait, I guess we should say Jane was at the funeral too. Jane walks away and tries to leave the funeral. The Lost Boys, again, what we're calling them, are like standing in front of her, so I'm gonna say that they're the Lost Boys. Then Wendy sees Jane and she actually thinks she's real this time, so she follows her all the way to the airport. It's like she was only steps behind her, and yet she wasn't like, Jane, like she didn't say anything. She just follows her all the way to the airport. Are you kidding me? You were a few steps behind her, and instead you get in your vehicle and drive for miles. And then Jane sees Wendy at the airport, and Jane is like, oh my gosh, you're my daughter. And then they start talking, and this is where Wendy's acting gets even more strange. And they also show this clip at the beginning of the movie too, but we didn't want to bring it up because it's like, again, it wouldn't make that much sense with the context. I feel like this line alone is what made me want to even talk about this movie. This single line is the way it's delivered. It's so bad that it made me want to talk about this movie. This alone. Because Jane tells Wendy to tell her about her life. Like, tell me about everything. And Wendy says, I can't, because you don't seem real yet.
Because you don't seem real yet.
And she has no reaction on her face while she's saying that. Hands down the funniest part of the entire freaking movie. And you get it within the first couple minutes because they show this at the beginning of the movie. But again, I just didn't think it made sense to put it there in the commentary. It seems like Jane might have thought that if she left Wendy and like left the family, that the stuff with Peter might not happen. Like if she never got told about it, then Nana told her anyway. Ugh. And ultimately, Jane also says that she left because she felt trapped in her mind and she didn't know what was reality and she just wanted freedom from it all. The only way for her to do that is to just leave everyone behind. But it didn't help anything. No. They cut back to the flashback that was the opening scene of the movie with Nana, the original Wendy, and Jane as a teenager, like, lying in bed while...
like, telling her the story.
Yeah, while
of
she
what
was telling her the
happened to
story.
with Peter.
They're giving us additional context this time. So once Jane was sleeping, Peter comes to visit Nana and wants to take her to Neverland. She says she can't because she's old. It's almost like she wants to show him that she's old, so she's like, I'm going to turn on the light. And he's like, no, don't turn on the light. He doesn't want to see that she's an old ago.
I'm old, Peter.
He's like, no, she's ugly and old. He's like, don't let me see your face. She turns on the light and shows what she looks like as an adult. And Nana reveals that Jane is her child.
He gets so mad and he puts his fist up in the air. He's like, no, she isn't. No, she isn't. And he keeps his fist up there for so long.
I know, like, you know what's hilarious?
And then he's like, oh.
Yeah, he's like throwing a punch in the air but at Jane. It's so funny, like literally that is also one of my favorite parts of the movie, because it's like literally while I was watching the movie, he had his arm up so long, I just started going, like waiting for him to stop, and I'm just like waiting with him.
And something I find interesting about this scene is that when he first came into the room and he couldn't really see Wendy, and so he didn't see that she looked old, but he noticed that like Jane was in the bed. He was like, is this a new one? And she says yes, and he says boy or girl. And it makes me think, I guess if you're a daughter, you become like a mother and are forced to take care of him and the Lost Boys. If you're a son, you become a Lost Boy.
That's our theory. That's our fan theory. Because what else could he have meant by that? And also, what does he mean, another one? He's saying that, but he doesn't know that it's her child. He doesn't think that it's her child until she reveals that, but is like, is that another one? What do you mean?
Maybe like a sibling. I don't know what he
Oh my god. Basically, it cuts back to Jane and Wendy's conversation in real life, like not the flashback. She's talking about Peter and is like, he loved us all as if we were one girl.
And she says it like positively.
How on earth is that a good thing?
And then that's kind of over. Like,
this is the end of the movie. Like, Wendy is kind of like reflecting on everything after getting to see her mother. And it's kind of having a montage of like her life and saying how she was never really happy. She says, if I could remember all this love, while showing like her with her like child and her husband. It says, if I could remember all this love, would that be enough? Is her family better than Neverland and Peter Pan?
no. Apparently not.
She's like, would it really be enough? And I love how Sierra just wrote in the notes while writing this. We're getting to the end of the movie, but this isn't even the final note. She just wrote, I'm not sure what the point of this story is.
I don't. What was the point of any of it?
So in like one of the final scenes, again, this movie has those strangest dialogue. Literally, Barry comes into the kitchen where Wendy is on her crutches since she has like her injuries. And she literally says to Wendy, hello, parental unit. And then Jane goes, hello, offspring. What kind of dialogue is that? What is happening? And basically the end of the movie is that Wendy took Jane home, so Barry got to meet her, and that's it. The silence is real.
It's like happening. Like, it's horrifying.
Kind of wrote my takeaway.
Like, this is our final thoughts.
This is the only thing I can assume. But it's like, even if it does mean this, they didn't do it properly, and also they romanticize it too much. Like, too many things about the movie are so convoluted that it doesn't even matter if this is the message. So here's my takeaway. So from my understanding, Nana just kind of auctioned off her child, all the future girls of the family, to Peter Pan just because she felt bad for getting old. So is the movie basically trying to say that things and cycles created by past family members, like especially in regards to women, I guess, in this case, create basically generational trauma that is just going to keep getting passed down and passed down to the next generation? Because Anna is so gross. She is so gross about all of this and is telling Wendy, it doesn't matter what you want for your child because things are just the way that they are because of the way she created them. And that she's not allowed to break this cycle of pain and trauma just because it is the way it's supposed to be. You need to pass it down to the next generation because Barry is just going to get taken by Peter anyway. I don't know, man. That's just my explanation. But again, it doesn't even really mean anything because this movie is so bad.
And that was The Lost Girls.
I actually don't think I have anything else to say.
My mind is blank. I actually, like...
This movie has us stunned.
I swear, the first time I watched this a couple years ago, I was in shock. And I could not stop thinking about this movie for days.
The thing is that's hilarious is, like, this is probably the 5th time we watched this movie to, like, make this video. And only by, like, the 3rd time did I even ever understand what was happening in the movie. Because the first time I watched it, I was so confused. I didn't even understand what was happening. So I literally had to look up stuff online to understand what was happening in the movie. So then when I watched it again, like, I was like, I guess I understand. But then once you understand it, it's even worse.
It's even, like, worse than you thought. But it's still convoluted because, again, I don't know what they're trying to say, like, being a mother, but you're also, like, dating him.
It's so poorly done regardless, but are they trying to almost talk about what it's like to be married to a man, like, that you basically
like,
become his
social
mother?
commentary?
Basically what happens with sexism in marriages? I don't know.
What
Like,
is-
that, like, they're saying that actually he's like a 13-year-old boy, and you have to take care of him and whatever, but he still wants sexual things from you. Is that what they're trying to say?
But then what about Hook?
Oh my god, I don't know. And I think the one thing that I really don't understand is Hook was saying, he and Peter and the Lost Boys were all violated, misused. And I'm like, what? So what happened to them? And then it's like, if they're saying what I think they're saying, are they saying that they got essayed, so he essays people? I don't know. I think I'm done. I think we have to end this.
Yeah, we have to end this. I can't, like, talk about this anymore. Thank you for watching. Please, if you enjoyed this, please give it a big thumbs up. 1 like equals 1 darling daughter saved from this generational trauma. Please
let
comment
us
down
know we're
below.
not alone. I feel crazy after having to watch this movie and interact with it at any capacity.
Thank you for being here, sticking around for this quite disturbing journey to Neverland. I'm gonna fly back home. I think it's time to fly back home.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Ah!